I was tagged in this tag 11 months ago, and the embarrassing thing is, I don't even think that that's the oldest tag that I still have undone. Hi everyone, Rosie here. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Booktube Not a Booktube Newbie tag. I was tagged by Bethan Bruninga Socolar, who is a absolute fantastic booktuber who, if you are not subscribed to, make sure you go watch her videos. And I've been sort of saving this for a special occasion, and in 2 days' time it will be the 2-year anniversary of when I posted my first video. So that feels like a pretty special occasion. And that actually brings us to the first question. How old is your channel? My channel is, I guess, 1 year and 363 days old, or essentially 2 years old. Question 2. What are your favorite videos to make? Honestly, it varies. Sometimes I'm just in the mood to make a vlog. Sometimes I just want to do that sort of really thinking about how can I capture footage, how can I capture interesting angles, interesting light, make things look good. And other times that is so complicated and all I want to do is sit down and talk at the camera. So I like a lot of different videos. I am partial to a discussion tag, any sort of tag that's not just what's a book you like. I love the sort of meta booktube stuff. I want to make more videos about that, but I don't know, I've been kind of in a rut lately, so I haven't done that, but I will. Okay, 3. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone wanting to join booktube? Okay, I feel like I have a lot of pieces of advice because, as I've mentioned, I've been in slumps, I've been in ruts, things have been in a bit of a transition state for me, and I think I still am. So my advice is, first, yes, just start a channel. 2, keep doing it. I think it can be really easy to make your first video and get really discouraged because you're like, oh, what? I had this image in my head, at least for me, I had this image in my head of what I wanted my booktube video to look like. And it just wasn't there. So it could have been really discouraging, but instead it was actually really fun to get into, well, wait, okay, what can I do? What are those videos that I like doing that I'm not? How can I make that happen? How can I do things differently? And that got me the look I wanted, but eventually I started to feel old, and eventually I started to feel wait, I'm not happy with my videos anymore. I'm not happy with how these look. I'm not happy with how I'm making them. So that brings me to the current state, which is be open to change. Just because you start making a video one way, just because you think you want to do one style or one type of video, that doesn't mean you have to do that forever. Make the videos that are exciting to you. Make the videos that you want to make or that you want to watch. Because I think when you do that, it does come through, and you will find people who connect with you and what you want and what you're interested in doing and talking about. And at least from my perspective, maybe other people disagree, but from my perspective, I would so much rather find exactly the people who are interested in what I'm interested in and get to be really excited about that together, as opposed to try and fit myself into what I think people want. So I guess that's a lot of advice and also just a personal anecdote all in one. And also brings us really well to question 4. Since joining, have you run into any unforeseen challenges? Yes, absolutely. Some of them were easier to overcome initially. Lighting was a big one initially, and I got some lights, and now the lights are a huge challenge, and there's a reason I've been filming on my phone and just not caring about lighting lately, and it's because I tried so hard with my lighting for a while because I wanted it to look the way I wanted, and then I don't know, I just got fed up with it. So now I'm not caring about that so much. And my video is quite dark because it's 8:30 in the evening. It's still sunny out, but my window faces east, so it doesn't get much evening light. And that's okay. I'm sure in a few months' time I'll be trying something else because this will start to feel like it's not challenging me enough. That's awesome. That's what I thought was a challenge actually just makes me so much more excited for the future. I feel now more than ever like my channel is something that I could legitimately take with me through multiple phases of my life, that it is something that can grow and contract as I need it to, and that feels so exciting. That is really, for me at least, a very positive feeling, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just in way too optimistic of a mood tonight, but I keep trying to say negative things and I get positive. 5. What is a favorite book/series you've read because of Booktube? Okay, well, I was going to talk about the Invisible Library series, which I absolutely adore and which was so hyped up by Katie of Katie Reads and Rants. So make sure you check out my July TBR, which should have gone up last weekend, I think. I'm not totally sure at this point. It'll have gone up recently. Go watch that if you would like to hear me talk more about the Invisible Library series. This is ridiculous. There are so many other books that I've read because of booktubers and because of Booktube and because of people's reviews. But I just cannot think of any. Ooh, Accidentally Engaged by Farah Heron. That is a romance novel with a fake dating, fake engagement situation. It is so good. It has converted me to Farah Heron. She is my favorite romance author. Like, she's the one that just like speaks my language. And I read that because of I'm Read It by the Book and Kim of Bookmarks and Breadsticks, both of whom loved it. And I was just, yes, that was an amazing book. And I'm so glad that I listened to the recommendation and read something a bit of my comfort zone because amazing. 5 stars. Love it. Question 6. Overall, what is your favorite aspect about Booktube? And I should have thought about this one more. When I did a similar tag this time last year, I think I talked extensively about the joy of creating, the joy of having a hobby where after I spend time on my hobby, I have something that I can show. I have something tangible that I can look at that I made, as opposed to just passively consuming. And that's definitely still true. I think my answer tonight, as of filming, June 16th, I think right now it's that it's something where I can explore and try things and do what I want with, realistically, virtually no repercussions. Not that I can't do that in other parts of my life or anything, but Booktube is something where it is very easy to say, hey, I have something that I want to try. I'm gonna just see what happens, right? I'm gonna use my phone to film some footage. I'm going to edit it in iMovie, and that's it. I'm gonna see what I can do. Oh, and make overlays in Canva, because I do a lot of overlay art. I don't know if you guys ever notice it or really appreciate it, but I spend way too long on those overlays. But that's what I mean, like, for very little input, you can just try something and it won't come out perfectly, as I said. But that's an opportunity to try something else, and I absolutely adore having something in my life where it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, and I can just experiment with what feels fun. What do I want to create, just for the joy of creating itself? So I guess this is still the same answer as last year, in addition, of course, to the community and all of the wonderful people, because all of that is true. But yeah, I just really like making things, and it turns out what I like making is silly little videos about books. I just finished filming, but I forgot to mention at this point that a perfect example of this type of video is my recent Lord of the Rings adventure video. It didn't turn out how I envisioned it. It didn't turn out how I was imagining it. But it turned out a hell of a lot better than it could have. It turned out a hell of a lot better than I thought it would. So if you haven't watched that, make sure you do. Question 7. Want to spread the Booktube love? Yes, great. Yes, of course. Give at least one newbie a shout out. I'm going to shout out Lisa in Bookland. Her channel's 4 months old. Is that a newbie still? I don't know what we're considering a newbie now, but she makes absolutely wonderful videos and you should go check out her channel and give them a watch because they are just so lovely and wonderful. As for who I tag, I have absolutely no idea, one, who has done this tag, and two, who considers themselves a newbie or not. So I'm going to say, if you feel like you're not a Booktube newbie, I want to hear your answers. And of course, if you would just like to share some of your answers down below, I would love to hear them in the comments. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. If you would like to see more of my videos, make sure you hit subscribe. And thank you for watching.